to hear it now. Cool. Let me know when you've tweeted it, and I'll get started.
Okay. Give me 1 second.
Sure. Like a new follower. Someone's looking at Telegram, I suppose. Okay, I'm in the chat, and we're good to go. Just let me know when you've tweeted. The tweeter is quite powerful.
All right, here we go. Tweet. All right, Twitter link is out.
Great. All right, we are live. Welcome everybody to the Flow podcast. I'm here with Channing and Martin. These are two Flow contributors, longtime contributors. I'm Joseph Fischella. It's great to be here again. Been doing Flow Dev for quite some time. And we want to talk a little bit today about recent events, what's happening in the Flow community, how Flow is being integrated into different enterprise and private softwares, and how we're going to navigate Flow in 2021. Start this year off strong, and let's get into it. So currently, the Alexandria team, based in San Diego, who you can see on your screen here, has moved into a new office. They were in a co-working space. They moved to someplace closer to home, a bit bigger and more cost-effective a space. And they've been working kind of around the clock on something called Trinity. And Trinity is a very integral part of OIP. If you're not familiar with OIP, OIP is a metadata index that's on-chain using a proof-of-work network. So a metadata index could be important for pointing to files, pointing to resources online, and it's important to have a decentralized metadata index so that nothing is lost, and we always have a history and a record of signatures and the proof that people have created something on-chain. And this is super important for, especially in the Web3 era, where people are making a lot of different applications that run on databases that have pointers to large file storage and pointers to content that are created by people with a lot of followers. So if you want to create a decentralized YouTube, if you want to create a decentralized land record registry, if you want to create a decentralized academic publishing resource, using a metadata index is probably important for that. And it expands into areas such as searching, search engines. How do you search for all this data on Web3? Who's going to be the provider of the search index, etc. So there are a lot of different ways that a metadata index could be significant to Web3. And the team at Alexandria is building the open index protocol for that purpose. So one of the reasons why we think that mining and the mining algorithm behind Bitcoin, which is what Flow uses, is so important, is because it is a true decentralized network. It creates this incentive for people to contribute to proliferating the network and making sure it's always live. And it gives them the economic incentive to be honest with what's happening on the network. So Trinity is an Alexandria created application that's taking the current price of Flow, and it takes the difficulty of Flow, and it tries to do basically a mining arbitrage where it recognizes if there's profit to be made by mining and then turns on a NiceHash or what2mine API, connects to it, puts some Bitcoins into it, and starts mining Flow. So if there's ever a time where the network is not secure enough, or if it's profitable to mine, Trinity is going to be filling up the gap between those two numbers, essentially doing the math, crunching the numbers, and figuring out when it's profitable to mine and when the network needs some extra security. And in this way, you're going to have a network. Let's say you have 15 to 20 different entities running a Trinity bot. They'll be able to ensure that the network always has some mining power, and they can actually profit during times where the arbitrage between the flow price and the mining capacity has an opportunity for profit. So this is a long way of saying that OIP is being developed in such a way that we're facilitating mining on the network and we're facilitating security of the network through the economic model. So when anyone on OIP is a publisher and they decide to publish a piece of content, if they decide to pay the transaction fee to add something to OIP, they're going to be paying the miners for that, and the miners who are running Trinity are able to collect those fees. So the more data is put on the chain, the more people are using the chain, the more fees that the miners get. We're actually seeing this happening in Ethereum right now, where there's about, I think I saw a stat where there's about $12 million a day on mining fees paid to ETH miners, whereas on Bitcoin it's only about $2 million a day, even though the transaction volume uh, is just about the same. People are paying a lot more for ETH transaction fees because the type of trade that they're doing is more expensive. The types of contracts that they're running, it just costs more, and people are paying it. So in a similar way, we want to get like this volume of transactions really high on flow, such that the miners are making a significant profit off of fees. And people will pay it because it's worth it for them to put this metadata within the index. So that's what Alexandria is working on. That's what these guys have been trying to create for the past few months since they moved into the new office, is the Trinity mining system, and it's going to facilitate all the things that we just talked about and hopefully make the network more secure. So that's what's going on with Alexandria. They have this 2020 review and what they're looking forward to in 2021. You can find it on YouTube. You can also find it on their Twitter. Go to Open Index Protocol. Um, and they've just got this link here. It's a pretty long video actually, recapping 2020 and going a farther into like what's happening in 2021. Amy from Alexandria will tell us all about it. And if you guys want to watch that, I'll put the link in chat and I'll put it below. Let's see. Oh, I'm actually not logged into my chat right now. Well, uh, I'll put it in there later on.
I'll
Uh,
get it.
oh, you got it? Thanks, Channing.
I'll get it.
Yeah, I think you've got the link. Yeah, so we'll throw those links down into chat and we'll put them on Twitter and in Telegram and stuff as well. The second thing that we'd like to talk about is Bitcoin at the all-time high. I mean, every time I check the price, it seems to be on an uptrend. Who knows where it's going to stop? But this is good for the community and it's good for flow in general. It's good for the cryptocurrency to have Bitcoin at such heights. Of course, people get hurt, they buy it too early, whatever it is, and it crashes down. It's very possible. It's happened many times in the history of Bitcoin, as you can see. But recently, a lot of attention has been put towards Bitcoin, maybe because of the infinite printing of money that fiat currencies are undergoing in the past 10 years. And maybe it's just because people are finally realizing that something digital is something that is valuable because we're living most of our lives digitally nowadays anyway. So why not digital money? Kind of makes sense. And this has actually brought a lot of attention to Flow on Twitter, mostly because the price of Flow is down. And people are talking about how it's a small Satoshi coin now, and others have suggested that we could bring it to Uniswap. And if you don't know about Uniswap, it's an ETH-based automated market maker system where you have liquidity pools and traders that trade on the liquidity pools. It's actually one of the first decentralized exchanges that has gained enough volume and attention to be something significant and to be considered one of the first decentralized exchanges that is actually used widely and understood. The UI is pretty good. It could be better, but for one of the first exchanges, it's not bad. So people are asking, can we bring Flow to Uniswap? And initially it's kind of a thing that is going to take a little bit of work, right? Because Flow is a Bitcoin fork. Well, it's a Litecoin fork, which is forked from Bitcoin. It's 99% the same as Bitcoin, and it doesn't exactly have an easy way to get listed on Uniswap, as if you were just an ERC20 token that could just be added on the interface. So what we have to do to bring Flow into a decentralized exchange like Uniswap is to make it compatible with the Ethereum protocol. So one way we're going about this is by adding Flow support to Ren, and you can see Channing actually tweeted that a pull request was submitted to Ren protocol, and if you look at our pull request, you can see that I've put up a pull request here. Yatsuba actually wrote all of this code. It was reviewed by myself and one other Flow developer, and we've just done what needed to be done to create a flow support for our coin on Ren. And what will happen here is they'll make a wrapped version of Flow, which lives on Ethereum. So that's a long way of saying we're working on it, right? So we've got some code here, we've got these tests running, and we've got a timeline for this being reviewed by the Ren team, which supposedly is once every quarter. So there's a few pull requests, I think 17 pull requests that are open for support for other coins like Dash. They want to add support for Litecoin. They want to add support for Solana. These are pretty big chains. So at some point, they're going to be reviewing all of these, giving us feedback, and we'll find out whether or not Flow is accepted into Ren. We'll be able to trade it on Uniswap via their wrapped Flow interface. So Ren is pretty cool. You guys should check out this project. They're doing some great work. We're submitting our pull requests to the multi-chain. And this is just their whole thing is interoperability between chains. So it's kind of complex to look at, but in the end, all you need to know is that it's simply a way to put Flow onto Ethereum and onto other chains, and that's their goal, and we are helping them reach that goal and add as much support for other coins as possible. So yeah, if you guys like this and you want to contribute, check out the link, maybe take a look at the code, see if you can run the tests. There's a bunch of Docker configs and stuff that they have that you can start running and see if it works on your local machine. Eventually, we'd like to add some more features like the flow data and stuff, but for now, we're just going to have tradable flow via Ren, which is really cool. And then finally, wanted to talk a little bit about Polkadot because this is a network that recently gained a lot of attention, is kind of launching soon. They've got their token listed on some exchanges, and you can build on Polkadot. These guys have actually a proof of work system that's similar to the way that Flow works. We know that ETH, if you have Flow on ETH, it's probably going to be moving to proof of stake pretty soon. Maybe ETH version 2, maybe there's some layer 2 stuff going on. It could be a challenge to keep all of that up to date and make it compatible with the existing version of OIP, which has mining as a very core feature. So we're also looking at Polkadot because we think that some of the extraneous Polkadot chains have a proof of work system that's very compatible with Flow. And one of the reasons that people are looking at Polkadot is because it has this like multiple chain kind of architecture. So we're looking at this option as well, but it just seems that as of now, Ren is the best way to get integrated with other chains and to make sure that our coin can be implemented in the Uniswap protocol and in decentralized exchanges that are super, super liquid and are available for everyone to use. So yeah, that's kind of like what we've been working on and what is coming up in 2021. If you guys want to follow us, like we're always on Twitter, we're always chatting in Telegram, and you can keep up to date with what we're doing. Yeah, I mean, if you guys have anything to add, Channing or Martin, let me know. But that's pretty much it. That's Flow in a nutshell. And we're happy to give an update to the community and make sure that we're all here and helping out, answering questions, and just being generally available to the Flow community.
Thanks, Joey, and big shout out to Yatsuba for doing the hard work and getting that code written. It's huge.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually can't wait to show what we're going to be doing with OIP now that we have all these extra features and integrations into other chains. I think as time goes on, 2021 is going to be a big year for OIP. Yatsuba and I have some plans. Don't want to talk about it right now because it's a little bit early, but we've got some plans to make some apps that I think people are going to like and are really needed in this space. One other thing I wanted to mention is that Jenna from Streambed said that she'd be on today, but unfortunately we had a scheduling conflict. She'll be on next time talking about Streambed and what's happening with OIP. Can't wait to have her on. It's going to be awesome. We can chat about Streambed and kind of like the first big OIP app of 2021. Streambed and the tech that they're using to connect artists and connect content creators on social media. It's going to be good. So another great use case for OIP, completely different than what we've had in the past. and it's something that we're all looking forward to. And I can't wait to have even more guests on next time. Um, we'll probably do a longer form discussion with kind of more participants and industry leaders that are working on different apps on top of Flow. This time I just wanted to give you guys kind of an update, a little bit short on time, but it's great to be here, great to be back, and 2021 is going to be good for Flow. And thank you guys for joining in with me and giving this update to the community.
Thanks,
Cool.
Joe.
Thank you, Joey.
Great. All right, I'm going to upload this video to YouTube, and I'll see you guys later.
All right.
Adios.
Catch
See
you
you
around.
guys.